Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Hello and welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. My name is Tricia Nelson. I'm your host, and I'm really glad that you're here. And I'm really excited about this guest that I have here today. She is a dynamo and in every sense of the word, and is doing great, wonderful things in the world. So we're very blessed to have her here. Debora Wayne is the founder of the Pain-Free Living Program. She's an internationally known energy healer and pain release specialist whose expertise is helping people to rapidly remove the hidden root cause for chronic pain, depression, anxiety, trauma, struggles with food, weight, addictions, and more. Deborah is the #1 bestselling author of Why Do I Still Hurt? Rapid Relief for Chronic Pain, Depression, Anxiety, and More. She is an amazing woman. We've had some really nice opportunities to connect, and I'm just really glad to have her here. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, thank you so much, Tricia. What a thrill to be here, and just love you.
Love you back, girl. Thank you for being here. This is great. Why don't we just start out by, telling folks about your story, which is so interesting. I was reading about it in your book, and you've told me bits and pieces. So share with everybody sort of how you came to do this wonderful healing work.
Well, 32 years ago, one normal, average Monday morning, I found myself at the bottom of my big, beautiful walk-in closet in my big, beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona home with my big, beautiful life that was big, blowing up, falling apart. And that day, it was just a regular day, but I couldn't do it anymore. And I couldn't get up, and I couldn't get dressed, and I couldn't go to work. And I realized something had to change. And it was the first time in my life that I became willing to ask for help. And up until that point, I had tried everything to pretend and fake it till you make it, and just everything, all that stuff to look good. But I had finally hit the bottom, literally, of my closet floor, and everything had to change. I have a long story, there isn't time for the whole story, but bottom line is that I was overeating, over drinking, overspending, overdoing, over everything to try to just be good enough. And I had no clue that I was already enough. And I suffered. I had just a hole in my gut, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was sick physically. My thyroid was out of whack. I was hypoglycemic. My hair was falling out. I had ulcers. I had insomnia. I used to drink every night till I passed out because I couldn't sleep. I flip-flopped from depression to anxiety. I mean, the list really goes on. And the ironic thing is everything looked great on the outside. Looked great. People wanted my life. But I was bankrupt. And so what happened was I had to get help, and I had to change everything. I had to unlearn and relearn every area of my life. I had to examine my thinking, my beliefs, my ideas, and clear that out. I had to discover I was stuffing emotions. I didn't even know what a feeling was. You'll laugh at this. My first person that helped me showed me a piece of paper with smiley faces all over it and said, point to the one that most feels like you. Because I had no clue how to articulate emotions. So, everything had to change. The emotions, my physical body, I had to redo everything. And that's what led me to my work, is I started down a path I would never have gone on. I went back to my meditation practice that I had abandoned. I started going to yoga. I started taking time to get quiet and listen inside and get in touch with who I really was and what was honest and real for me, instead of trying to please everybody else under the sun and live a life for them. And wow, I had no clue it was going to even lead me to this work. But everything I teach now in my Pain-Free Living program, everything I do when I work with people one-on-one or in groups, everything is based on my own experience out of my health hell, I call it. And yes, I went back to school. I got a bunch of degrees and all of that stuff. But truthfully, my own life experience has been the greatest teacher of all.
Amen. I so hear that. That's certainly the truth for me as well. So, gosh, I so relate to so much of that. And thank goodness that you did make that turnaround, that you got to, that you hit that wall. I think it's really a blessing that we hit that wall. Some people just live, they're just one painful experience short of hitting that wall, and they don't get to have that, that rebound off where everything can change.
Exactly. So many people just stay functioning and coping and managing all of that, thinking maybe they'll get through it, or I don't know what they're thinking. But the truth is that when you hit the bottom, it is always a gift. It's always a gift, and if you're willing to go through it, as my first mentor said, the shortcut is the way through, not around, not over, not avoiding. It's you go through it. And when you come out the other side and you look back, it's like, wow, that was I had a clean slate. I got to reinvent myself and my entire life. What a gift is that? It's just an amazing gift.
Well, it's so true. I think a lot of people tuning in may not think, they may think they're too old, or, time too much has gone by, or they're already stuck in their ways. But, that shift can happen at any age whatsoever. And you and I both have seen people do it at, crazy older ages where you think, oh, they probably would be likely to throw in the towel. But no, that spark of divinity has just fanned into a flame, and all of a sudden they're on fire with a new perspective, and it's so beautiful. So I'm just so glad you described that here, because I think it gives a lot of hope to people that no matter what you're going through, no matter how hellish it is. When I was hitting my own bottom, I had some girlfriends who are witnessing me, and they were really funny. I got together one day, and I just come off of a binge, and I was just a mess. And I got together with them. We were going for a walk, and they looked at each other and they said, "Trisha's going in the right direction, down." I'm like, yeah, okay. If you can call it the right direction, it sure as hell doesn't feel like it. Oh,
I so get that. I so remember, thinking everything was really going wrong, but it's all falling in place, I call it. The puzzle pieces are flying in the air, right? But they're falling back together in the right place.
Yeah, and that rut, as comfortable as it is, it is not the way God means for us to live. No way, Jose.
And I love what you just shared, because so many of my clients are between 40 and 70 something. I mean, it doesn't matter when. It doesn't, it just matters that you get it. We're going to be alive, living somewhere forever. Energy never dies. So it doesn't matter time as we understand it. You're not too old. It just matters that you wake up.
It's so beautiful and so true. So tell me about, speaking of waking up, tell me about that moment, because you said before that you know exactly when it happened, when you began to be a healer. And I'm sure you were already, thank goodness, what the nice thing is you were setting the stage for this many years before. But when is it that you finally, that light bulb went on?
Yeah, you're right. As I looked back, I could see that it had been happening my whole life. I was always considered to be sensitive. It's too sensitive.
Yep, wearing your heart on your sleeve, right?
Exactly. I couldn't lie to save my life. And I couldn't hide my emotions, and I was too much energy for everybody, and moody. My father would call me Sarah Bernhardt. And really, it's that I really do see and feel deeper than the average person. I always have. And the moment that you're referring to was shortly after that hitting the bottom. It was a Sunday morning, and I remember waking up and just kind of like, at that point in my life, I didn't believe in a God. I was kind of pissed off at God, if there even was one. But I had a moment that day. It was like I didn't want to turn back to the old life. And I couldn't see around the bend. I didn't know what the new life would be like. And in that moment, I screamed out to the night sky, if there's anybody out there, help me. Literally, that's all I said. Not thinking that I would get any kind of response or, well, I had an experience that I call a spiritual experience. It was life-changing for me. And I made contact with a power greater than myself in that moment. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, it wasn't just my thinking. It wasn't just some idea. This was an experience I could feel. And it was a deep sense of connection to love and unconditional love and peace. And just a huge power that I knew was trying to communicate with me. And I knew deep down from that moment on, everything was going to be okay. And I started to feel this life force energy flowing, pumping through my body, and particularly out my hands. And from that moment forward, it was as if I was being taught by the universe. The next months, literally months, every day, it was very interesting because every day was a new lesson. And I started having really deep meditations, and inner guidance would come through. I would feel like going to the library. I'd go to the library. Books would fall off the shelf that I absolutely need, something I needed to read. People would show up in my life. It was really an amazing time, and it woke me up physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I became aware. I just somehow knew that my highest purpose was to help others, to be of service, and that I have this ability, and we all have this ability, to a self-healing ability. And I started to allow it to come out. Now, I didn't talk about this to very many people because I was afraid of it. I was skeptical. I come from a family of allopathic medical doctors, so we don't talk about this kind of stuff. And, it was a very interesting time, but I began to have certain experiences where it was demonstrated to me that there was a force coming through me that was able to heal. And I started experimenting, and that just one step led to the next and the next and the next. And it's just over time, over the years, I've not only become more aware of it and more skilled at using it, but I fully recognized this is the highest purpose for me that there is. And I put my stake in the ground and said, it would be selfish not to share this with other people.
That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I just want to comment on a few things for the people who are tuning in, because when you said you're a sensitive soul, I talk often about emotional eaters being, especially sensitive. Like that is a hallmark quality that we have. And it's more so than any other addict, I believe, is people with, food addiction tendencies are very, we're emotional eaters, we're emotional people. And it's a double-edged sword, right? I mean, it can be a terrible liability where, we think everybody's laughing at us just because they smile, or, or somebody says something and we can't brush it off easily. We just ruminate over what they said and what did they mean, and things hurt at a deeper level for emotional eaters than I believe for the rest of the world. So it can be a big burden, and a liability until we embrace it and realize how to work with it. It is a beautiful, the artists of the world are sensitive souls because they feel so deeply and they express what they feel through their art, so it can be a beautiful, beautiful asset as well, but not so long as it's, buffeting us about and driving us to try to kill it, with food or alcohol or other things. So I just think it's so beautiful that you really embraced it at that time and started to work with it, and realize the gift in it, because it really can be such a gift. When we are that sensitive, we can perceive things other people are oblivious to. We sense other people's emotions. There's a lot of good things about it, and those very good things, it can be, on the flip side, they can completely take us out, it being too empathetic, right?
Right. No, you're describing my early life. Oh my God, if you looked at me funny, I could feel immediately what everyone was thinking and feeling and taking it. I took it personally, and it would destroy me. And I did. I would binge eat and overdrink and take drugs to get rid of those feelings because I did not know how to release them. I didn't know how to process them. They were like stuck in my body, and it was such a burden. I can't even tell you. Well, you know. But there is that flip side. And when you find someone that can help you really learn how to deal with this, oh my God, that's when you utilize the gift.
Absolutely. So it's so beautiful that you started working with it instead of resisting it, and sublimating it. So that's just so cool. So talk a little bit, if you will, Deborah, about some of the the manifestations that you treat. Obviously you're helping people who have outward manifestations of inner and deeper issues. So what are let's start with the outer manifestations. A lot of people with pain and sickness.
Yeah, I've worked with people with, God, such a wide range, pretty much everything and anything under the sun. But a lot of people come to me who have all these mysterious pain symptoms. And sometimes things aren't even showing up on medical tests. And they've gone from doctor to doctor and treatment to treatment and supplements and drugs and even surgeries. And they aren't getting any relief. So you said something very key a moment ago. I have come to believe all pain and illness starts first at the level of thoughts and emotions that are not being processed properly. They're in our energy field. So I work in the energy field, and it brings this stuff up so people can then recognize and release. So I work with people who have chronic pain, chronic fatigue. Oh my God, some of my clients are the type that literally they cannot get up off the couch. One that comes to mind in particular, he said he had to quit working and his wife had to become the sole breadwinner. He said he would do a load of laundry and have to take a 2-hour nap. Couldn't play with his kids anymore. I mean, people who have really lost functionality. And the depression and the anxiety that comes along with any kind of chronic condition, it goes hand in hand. So I've worked with people who are suffering from panic attacks, can't leave the house. People with trauma from their childhood, such as abuse and sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, religious abuse. I mean, all types. It makes a deep scar sometimes that people carry with them for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And this can all be healed. I've worked with people with everything from TMJ and migraines and PMS and carpal tunnel and ADD and ADHD, thyroid issues, all the digestive disorders. Because again, as you said earlier, the digestive center is the emotional center. That's where we're not processing properly, or we're over-processing, we're over-functioning, either or. And so I've worked with so many people who, oh my God, one client, she couldn't leave the house, again, stopped traveling, stopped working, because she constantly threw up. She had vomiting for 9 months. There was nothing showing up on a medical test. They wanted to do surgery and they didn't even know what was wrong with her. And literally, Tricia, within 1 hour of working with her, she never threw up again. She became aware of suppressed emotions, anger, resentment that she didn't even know she had. It was just completely stuck. And she was so full that she was literally vomiting these emotions, but they were not conscious. Once I helped her understand what was going on and feel it and not be afraid of the feelings and the sensations, this woman is free, traveling, went back, just her whole life came back.
That's so beautiful. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And you said something really important. I said lots of things, but you said, you helped her really face it and not be so afraid of the feelings, and isn't that so much the root cause? I mean, I know for myself, it's just, I'd do anything, before I would feel a feeling,
Exactly. I would take anything, do anything, avoid, distract, whatever it took not to feel. Now my mantra is, if you want to heal, you must learn to feel. And is really it. And to lose the fear of feeling a feeling is so empowering. You literally take your power back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really like my husband's described it a lot of times. He said it's like a bully chasing you home from school. You know, that bully will chase you home every single day, and you'll run home in fear and trepidation. But the minute you stop and bust it in the mouth, you turn around and bust it in the mouth, it'll never chase you home again.
I love it. It's great. It's really true. It's just stop everything, face it, feel it, experience a sensation. It's energy. That's what I teach people, is that feelings and thoughts are nothing but energy patterns. And if you just allow energy to express, energy knows how to move on its own. It doesn't need our help. It just needs to be acknowledged and felt and experienced, and not run away from it. It's the resistance of it that's the problem.
That's so true. You're singing my song, girl. This is just beautiful. It's so beautiful. You know, I find it so counterintuitive. You know, the people that we work with, I mean, people with eating disorders and other addictions, you know, they're so convinced that if they were to face a feeling, you know, they're running so hard from it, run, you know, looking back, don't catch me, don't catch me. And the belief is that if I were to stop, it would overtake me. And
Right.
I mean, it would completely I'd be consumed in it. But the truth is that when we face it, it just loses its power. And it's like you said, nothing more than energy that just dissipates.
That is exactly what I find. That is exactly what I hear every day working with people. Oh, I'm sure it will last forever if I feel this. I don't want to feel it because it will last forever. It will kill me.
Yep. And that really is the fundamental belief, isn't it? That childish, you know, we're stuck in that child mode. I think whatever point it was in our childhood where we made the decision. I know for myself, I certainly am not conscious of when I did that, but I certainly at some point must have decided, gee, being numbed out felt a whole lot better than feeling, you know, and I can't handle it. So I'm stuck in that belief that it will kill me if I feel it.
Well, and again, you know, I'm sure many people listening to this can identify with that, and I know I can too. But that worked for you as a child. That's why it went in. It saved our life, right?
That cereal and that popcorn saved my life, I'll tell you.
So it's not like that wasn't helpful. It was, but it's a tool we've outgrown, just like you wouldn't wear your clothing from kindergarten anymore. It's an outgrown tool, and you have to, at some point, when the pain gets bad enough, because you see I'm repeating this pattern and it won't go away, and I don't understand where you have to learn new tools, and because you've outgrown those. And the tiger's not chasing you anymore either. Unless you keep attracting it, which a lot of people do. They keep making the same choices based on childhood imprints. That's, again, the beauty of the Biofield healing work that I do, because it helps you get in touch with these childhood imprints so you can stop living your life as an 8-year-old.
That's so beautiful. So tell me more about it and how, when you do a session with somebody, it's very different from therapy, I would imagine.
Very different. Yeah. In fact, we don't really even need to talk. I don't even need them in person. I can do this work at a distance. It's really remarkable. I call it, it's a 21st century tool for 21st century problems. So there's an energy field that surrounds every living thing, including our body. And how this works is that this energy field is not just energy, it's filled with information that's invisible to the eye. It's called quantum information. And it's like having a recording device that's been on your entire life. So all these traumas, the beliefs, the emotions, the environment you were soaking in as a child, it got recorded. And it clouds over the real you. The real you is not in pain or suffering or an emotional eater. That was learned. And so when I work with people, I'm able to scan their field and literally feel. This is where that sensitivity comes in handy. I can feel like I'm touching something where the disturbances are in the energy field and bring in a higher vibration than my clients are able to access on their own. And if you raise the vibration to a higher state, There is no dis-ease. It's a state of consciousness where we really are in alignment with the peace, that unconditional love that I mentioned. It's a blissful state. And people have trouble accessing that on their own unless they've been like meditating for 30 years, right? And even then, it's sort of hit and miss. So this helps release the low vibrational information. Think of it this way. All disease, dis-ease of any kind, is a very low vibration. If you raise that vibration, it can't hold its form. And it will drop out of your field, which means it drops out of existence. And it no longer expresses in the physical, the mental, or the emotional bodies. It is gone, and it can happen instantaneously.
That is so beautiful. Now, you mentioned before we started recording that you might be able to do that here on the show. You up for that? I am.
Love that. Yeah, it's my greatest joy.
Awesome. Okay, guys, everybody listening, Deborah is going to actually do, would you call it a session or a treatment? What do you call it?
It's a Biofield Healing session or transmission. And yes, and we're going to this will just be a short demo, but many people have healing results just from a short demo on a call like this. Now, I want only one caveat. You don't want to do this while you're driving, operating equipment, in the kitchen cutting, and no, you have to be in a safe place, sitting or lying down.
Okay, so if you're driving and listening, this is well worth your time. If you can, to pull over, just get off the exit and park it, because this healing will help the rest of your trip. Or if you are in the kitchen, if you're multitasking, just take a little break, and this will be not too long, like 5 minutes or so, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We'll just demo.
Okay, good. So if you're up for healing, let's do this.
All right, so I'm going to guide you in with my voice, and what I'd like you to do is just get as comfortable as you can, sitting or lying down, and close your beautiful eyes and take the deepest breath that you've taken all day so far. You're already feeling it, Tricia. I love that. All right, so take that deep breath in, all the way in and all the way up, and hold your breath at the top. And now open your mouth and let out a big sigh. There you go. Good. Once again, take a deep, long, slow, beautiful breath in and up and hold. Open your mouth and let it off. And one more time, a long breath in and up. New possibilities. And letting go now of all the old stale air and ideas. And now just continue to breathe normally and naturally at a pace that's comfortable for you. If your body starts to move in any way, let that happen. Or if you just feel like moving or shifting around or changing positions at any time, let your body be free to move. Begin to notice your inner experience. Take your attention inside yourself and notice now. Do you see anything? Or hear anything? Notice anything you begin to feel or sense or imagine. Even if you think you're making it up, just notice that. Even if it seems like nothing's happening, just notice that. Allow any thoughts and feelings that come up to come up and observe them without trying to change them, without judging them, without labeling them as good or bad or right or wrong. Just observe and allow. Even if pain comes up, just let it come up. It's just energy moving. And notice it and feel it. You may notice a fragrance or a taste. You may have memories come up. Let whatever happens happen now. You may drop into a very deeply relaxed state. You may even feel like you're falling asleep, and that's okay too. We're going to spend just a minute now in silence while I continue to work on you. And then you'll hear my voice when it's time to come back. So just rest now. Relax more than you have in a long, long time. And let me do all the work. And you just notice. Now, very, very slowly now, become aware of the sound of my voice and all the sounds around you. And just begin to deepen your breathing very slowly, becoming more alert, more awake, more aware, and staying very, very relaxed. Take a deep, long breath in and out now. More alert, more awake, more aware. And again, take a deep, long breath all the way in and all the way up. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Exhale deeply and fully and come all the way back now, wide awake, alert, refreshed, and relaxed. And when you're ready, slowly, gently open your eyes and allow the light to come back in.
Beautiful. Wow. That was so relaxing.
You were showing all the signs of going to a deep altered state. The yawning, the breathing. Did you feel yourself going deeper?
Yeah, it's just like when I meditate, really, like fast, really fast.
It's very fast. And that's the beauty of this for people who don't meditate and whose mind is busy, busy, busy all the time. It helps people sometimes within seconds become quiet inside. And that's the state of all healing. It occurs on the inside first and then shows up in the outside. All healing starts from a place of peace internally.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I just want to qualify and say it doesn't happen every time I meditate. I meditate twice a day, but to get that peace, that happens like not every time. Trust me. I'm usually monkey mind. So that was really relaxing.
And the beauty of even a short demo like this, it's not really over. This begins the activation. And so this actually could take 24 hours or longer to fully integrate. And sometimes people have more happen after a session than during a session. People report healing going on for days sometimes from just a demo like this. And so don't be too quick to judge. You know, the mind wants to like, well, show me the proof. I understand that. I am a prove it to me girl, believe me. But give it a chance to integrate and feel into the experience and just observe.
Yeah. Well, and the neat thing is that this is good for everybody listening, right? This is not directed at one person. Like every person who accesses this recording is going to get the benefit from that experience.
Everyone. and they will get what they need individually, even though I'm working at a group. And yes, the frequencies of healing are embedded in a recording. They work at a distance. It has nothing to do with time and space as we understand it. And you can use it again and again. They can watch your program again and again and still access the vibrations that they need in that now moment.
That was just so beautiful. Thank you so much. That was just lovely. And your voice is so gentle and rich, really beautiful. So
thank you for the opportunity. I love sharing this with people. It's really my greatest joy.
That's beautiful. Now, Deborah, you have prepared something for everybody tuning in here that they can access as a free gift from you. And just FYI, Deborah's going to explain what that is, but you can you don't have to write anything down. Just go to healyourhunger.com into the podcast link or part of my website, and you'll get the link where you can access this free gift. So tell us about that.
So this is a deep dive into my work that will help you find the hidden reasons for all pain and suffering. It's an MP3 that is the first class from one of my programs, my Pain-Free Living program, along with an e-workbook. So if you're an auditory learner, a visual learner, or a kinesthetic, and it has a full healing session, the experience of it in there. So it's information for your left brain, and it's an experience for your right brain, and it's designed to get real results. So if you like this little demo, if you resonate with what we're talking about here today, this will take you much further. And it's totally complimentary. I hope that it really changes lives.
Thank you. I'm sure it will. And it's so funny, like as I started to talk, I'm like, wow, my voice is really chill. I really just brought it down several notches from this little exercise.
It does. Sometimes I'm always afraid I'm going to lose the hostess, you know?
I had a few moments of, Tricia, you really can't totally leave this situation. You've got to stay present. You do have to come back. So thank you so much. And I have a question for you. I ask of all of my guests. So, and you can take whatever time you need to ponder the answer. But my question for you, Deborah, is what is your deepest hunger?
What a great question. My deepest hunger is to truly embody and become my full unlimited self.
Beautiful. Oh, amen to that. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here and blessing us and for all the wonderful work in the world that you do and all the lives that you're changing. We just really salute you and bless you. So I'm so glad I know you. So glad our paths have crossed. It's just beautiful. So thank you all, everybody who's tuned in. This is a special show, as I think you all know. And thank you. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can benefit as well. So until next time, God bless and see you later.
If you enjoyed this show and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.